Good morning, everyone here in Pakistan. It's morning, but I don't know about USA. It's a very good evening, everyone. So let me share this screen first, and then yeah, there we go. So the topic of my study or presentation is climate change, origins and outcomes on Pakistan, and prospect resolutions. So it's a very burning issue that really, inspired me to talk about it because uh, on 21st March recently, Pakistan had to face a very severe earthquake. And on 22nd June 2022, Pakistan and the province of Sindh, we faced a very severe, acute flood. So it's a serious issue nowadays, and we are discussing it in different universities and at different platforms. So the key discussions of my presentation would be the introduction, then the anthropogenic global warming theory, and then methodology, key sources, and key factors of climate change, challenges, mitigation, and adaptation, and then key recommendations. So let me begin with the key study that why I'm doing research on it. So since in this century, human race is facing a serious threat in the form of climate change, which has undermines the survival of the human civilization. In simplest form, climate change is the phenomena by which the atmospheric changes take place, which leads towards alterations in the global eco and biospheres through slow natural process. In this backdrop, this study investigates that global climate crisis poses a number of threats to the well-being and prosperity of the Pakistan. Pakistan already witnessed several climates and weather-related natural hazards due to the geographical diversity and a varied tropical, continental climate, hot summers and cold weathers. Moreover, Pakistan is experiencing recurrent heat waves and droughts, riverine and flash floods, landslides and sea storms or cyclones. Climate change is expected to increase the frequency and intensity of these events as well as exacerbate people's vulnerabilities. It is projected that there will be significant increases in temperature across the country, high confidence, and especially in the snow covered mountains north, which will lead to faster glacial melt, resulting in changes due to the Indus River flows downstream. So overall, the research strives to not only identify the impacts of climate change, but also discuss possible solutions to mitigate the variations of climate change in Pakistan. So methodology, I have applied the qualitative and quantitative methods. This research has incorporated both methods. Qualitative method has applied to make robust arguments to obtain the end results, while quantitative methods, whereas the has applied to quantify the data along diverse variables. And the key primary sources that I have used, because I'm still working on this paper, this is not the end. So therefore, I'm working it's on more to get more data and more, details. Asian Development Bank, climate risk adaptation, country profile, Government of Pakistan, Ministry of Climate Change, National Climate Change Policy, Islamabad, and then human cost of floods in Pakistan, annual reports, Asian Development Bank report, Global Climate Risk Index, annual report, German watch. So let me explain the anthropogenic global warming. So why I have applied this theory while explaining the story of Pakistan that we are facing nowadays, the serious climate issue. So, what was this theory? It was introduced by Svante Arrhenius. He was a Swedish scientist. that was the first to claim in 1896 that fossil fuel combustion is enhancing global warming. So it's very interesting to note that he claimed in 1896, but across the world, you know, scientists and other policymakers, they refused. They said, no, climate change is occurring because of natural process. It's not human made, you know, process. So he claimed it in 18th, in 19th century. He proposed a relation between atmospheric carbon dioxide concentration and temperature. He found that the average surface temperature of the earth is about 15 degrees centigrade because of the infrared absorption capacity of water vapor and carbon dioxide. This is called the natural greenhouse effect. Arrhenius suggested a doubling of the CO2 concentration that would lead to a 5 degrees centigrade temperature rise. He and Thomas Chamberlain calculated that human activities could warm the earth by adding carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. So here I would like to mention that it's very interesting to note that nature has given balance to Earth planet. But what happened that according to my understanding of Svante Arrhenius, what he wanted to explain in his theory, that because of enhancing carbon dioxide, this is because of humans, and particularly since the arrival of the industrial revolution, we can't blame on nature alone for this journey. So this research was a byproduct of research of whether carbon dioxide would explain the cause of the great ice ages. This was not actually verified until 1987. So this is what I was explaining, that for 1 century, scientists did not accept this reality. After the discoveries of Arrhenius and Chamberlain, the topic was forgotten for a very long time. At that time, it was thought that human influences were insignificant compared to natural forces such as solar activity and ocean circulation. It was also believed that oceans absorb carbon dioxide, that they automatically diminish out human pollution. So humans thought that naturally oceans absorb carbon dioxide. So, but this was not the fact. The story was otherwise. For 415 parts per million, up from pre-industrial level of around 280 parts per million, it was the atmospheric changes that I'm explaining, that it has been enhancing. So now let me move forward. That here you can, so in here you can see that how the world planet went with the exceeding global warming changes. So prior to industrial revolution in 1950, as you can see in this slide, so we have only 300 part per million carbon dioxide. But after that, it was skyrocketed from 1950s industrial revolution to present. So prior to industrial revolution, those changes were natural, but the current climate changes is largely anthropogenic. So here I have, it's very haunting slide that I got, and I want to share that how since last 60 years of global warming, this is not the issue of Pakistan. It is happening across the world, that how we, warmed our Earth planet since the last 60 years. And here I'm coming to the point again towards my core discussion, that the most vulnerable climate change states across the world currently, as you can see from this slide, that the highlighted Pakistan red in red is the most effective, and then Bangladesh, Myanmar, and and in East African side it's Mozambique and then Puerto Rico. So I visited this place last year in USA. So it's very interesting to note that how we are warming our own atmosphere. So Pakistan is the eighth most effective region across the world in terms of climate change. So according to Global Climate Risk Index, German watch, Pakistan is ranked now currently as the sixth country, which is the world's most vulnerable to long-term climate risk. Pakistan lost almost 10,000 lives during this trouble, suffered economic loss worth 3.8 billion, and witnessed 152 extreme weather changes from 1999 to 2018. So here am showing in this slide you the climate change classification in Pakistan. So you can see all the red areas are mostly the Punjab, Sindh, Balochistan. And this is the most arid land and desert land. And from the northern side, you can see this area is all about the glaciers inside Pakistan, and where nowadays glaciers in Pakistan is melting, and we are facing, floods and extreme weather changes. Even if it was, confirmed that Pakistan was blessed with four, seasons like spring, autumn, summer, and then, winter. But unfortunately, this time, since last 3 years, we have been deprived from this natural blessing because of the, heat waves and weather changes, not only in Pakistan, but all the heat waves we are receiving from the other industrial countries. For example, China is next to Pakistan, and China is the top, you know, you can say the producer of carbon dioxide. It has been proved that 23% carbon dioxide is generated, has been generated by the China. And Pakistan is very next to China from the northern side, and therefore Pakistan is facing as well. So therefore, I have shown this map to you. And here you can see I have mentioned the recent earthquake, 21st March. So it's happened in front of my eyes. So it was very scary for us, to be very honest. So we faced a serious earthquake, and it was like 7.7 degrees earthquake that Pakistan confronted in recent 21st March 2023. And all the areas you can see the Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and Pakistan were the top who were affected from this earthquake. Okay, so in June 2022, effects of floods in Pakistan. So you can see that Balochistan, Punjab, Sindh, KPK confronted serious crisis. Sindh confronted the most. Why? Because Sindh is very next to Indus Delta. So all the glaciers melted, and then automatically from northern areas it went to southern areas, and Sindh was the most affected. But the most important was Pakistan at national level faced serious crisis, economic crisis, particularly as you can see in the red I have highlighted. So now greenhouse gas emission, the story of Pakistan, that since 1990, it was very, low, 1990, methane, carbon dioxide, and nitrous oxide. So you can see it was only 50 million in 1990 to 1995. But now it is exceeding from 150 million, from 50 to 150 million. All the carbon dioxide, methane, and and nitrous oxide gases, which is polluting the environment in Pakistan. So now the key natural hazards that Pakistan is confronting. First of all, the storm, earthquake, drought, flood, extreme temperature, and then epidemic because of the very poor health issues that government of Pakistan is providing to the people of Pakistan. And then again, the landslide. Okay, key reasons for greenhouse gas emission in Pakistan. So here I want to explain, as I told you earlier, in anthropogenic global warming. So anthropogenic global warming is all about the fossil fuel generated by coal, natural gas, and the oil. And Pakistan, what Pakistan is doing, so it's very interesting to note that we have renewable sources, but we are exploiting or harnessing only the non-renewable resources. We are using natural gas for energy needs 43%, and then oil 36%, and then coal 7%, and hydro 11%. We can generate more hydroelectric power by building dams. But unfortunately, we are relying more on non-renewable natural resources, and therefore Pakistan is facing serious climate change challenges. Okay, sectoral assessment of greenhouse gas emissions in Pakistan. So electricity, we are producing 28.67. Pakistan is producing to greenhouse gases. And then from manufacturing and then transport, 22.69. So here I would like to mention, in Pakistan, there is no proper facility for the people for local transport. Therefore everybody has their own car, and it is polluting our environment, unfortunately. And then fugitive sources, that is again the natural gas and geothermal, and then agriculture, that is creating the greenhouse gases inside Pakistan. So okay, coming in this slide, you can see again the transport, residential, power plants, industry. So in industrial sector, Pakistan is not as progressive as it must be. But even though, because of the lack of technology, poor management, Pakistan is facing serious challenges. And it is anticipating that in 2000 till 2030, if Pakistan will not mitigate these challenges, then Pakistan have to confront again the severe loss. So effects of climate change in Pakistan, again, the temperature rise, again, drought, extreme weather, disease, and lifestyle changes because of the greenhouses gases. We are unable to control the greenhouses gases. So remedies and recommendations. So here I can say a very few. You can say a positive light for or hope for Pakistanis. So that's I'm going to explain that mitigation and adaptation, that how Pakistan can mitigate climate change. So first of all, the 10 million trees tsunami idea was given by the recent Prime Minister Imran Khan. So it was a great initiative in his government side. So that must be appreciated, and it was, very highly received by the universities and other public-private sectors, that everybody is ready to, plant trees in order to control the carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. And then again, the renewable energy resources are another key for the climate mitigation in Pakistan. So this is very interesting story. Maybe you heard about the Miyawaki Urban Forest Initiative. So basically, it was introduced by Japanese botanist Akira Miyawaki. So it is a plan which is executed in a bare land and recolonize the plants to fight against the exceeding carbon dioxide. So it was, first of all, it was followed by Japanese. And it is very interesting to note that they implemented. In Japan is an island state, but as I have shown you the bleak picture of the most effective countries, and there is no name of Japan, because they are applying this Miyawaki urban forest strategy. And therefore, Pakistan is following that footsteps to control or to cope with the climate changes. So it is a method to foster indigenous structure It provides 30% more oxygen to atmosphere than the conventional forest. It absorbs, it's very interesting to note that it absorbs 50% carbon dioxide than a conventional forest. Aside from that biodiversity which has disappeared from cities, particularly in Pakistan, we have butterflies, we have bees, and because of the weather changes, we have deprived from this, tiny species. So, and it can again regenerate that atmosphere for Pakistan. And Pakistan is, blindly following this Miyawaki urban forest strategy to meet with the climate change challenges. And again, the growth of mangrove is again very interesting story. So the mangrove here, I would like to explain, is a plant that naturally, it's a natural resistance against climate. Mangroves absorb carbon dioxide, and it has a very high potency to control the glaciers and flood region, effective region, because it has a thick layer, and Pakistan is planting mangroves, and Pakistan is naturally blessed with mangroves as well. As you can see, in this slide, I have highlighted here that, in the, we have at four places we have mangroves, like Gawadar Bay mangroves, and then we have Kalman Khor mangroves and Sulmani Bay mangroves, and then we have lastly the Indus Delta mangroves. Because of the floods, Pakistan's delta is seriously in trouble, and mangroves is a very powerful natural source that can, create hindrance against floods and other landslides. So therefore, Pakistan, it's another very important campaign on the part of government of Pakistan that to plant mangroves to fight against the climate change. Okay, mitigation through green energy projects. So it's very interesting that Pakistan is blessed with renewable energy resources, but Pakistan is not harnessing this opportunity because of the lack of technology. And you can say, I will say, the lack of will, to be very honest. So Pakistan can generate, rather than to use fossil fuels, Pakistan can make its energy through hydropower energy, because Pakistan had three glaciers, wind energy, and then geothermal energy, and the most importantly, solar energy. Pakistan is a country which has 6 to 7 months. We have, sun. We are blessed with the sun rays, sunlight. So we can exploit or harness that energy for the positive use. So therefore, solar energy is another important step to mitigate climate change. And then again, the biomass energy. Okay, solar panel natural energy source is again the very important. Even we, to be very honest, we are thinking to apply solar panel at home. So all the people who can afford, all the families, they are going for solar panel energy. So again, rural to urban migration year-wide. So it's my personal, because I'm writing a paper on rural to urban migration. So what I have felt, the reason, because I'm living in Lahore, why we, our air is polluting day by day, because Lahore has become, the messy place to live in. Lahore has no lungs left to breathe, to be very honest, because of this rural to urban migration year-wise. In other provinces, there is less opportunities, or cities. Only Lahore is having, employment opportunities, and people can is coming here for bread and butter. And even the people from Lahore, they are living for abroad, and they have stuck with the traffic and other air pollution because of the population. Since last 3 years, we have, and only 3 to 5 years, 5 million population in Lahore, and now we have 11 million population, and all the mostly they are migrants from other cities. So this is what I would say, okay, we Pakistanis are blaming the government, that rather than to focusing only in a one city, Lahore, Karachi, you know, they must keep a balance. You know, they must build development or housing society and universities to other areas, to other cities or provinces. So here I can show you the more bleak picture, that overall democratic imbalance needs to be addressed. That in Pakistan we have 37% people are living in, you know, the urban areas, and 63 people living in rural areas. So all the rural areas people, they are dying to leave their place because of the lack of electricity, you know, no employment, and again, you know, their agricultural land, they're depriving from agricultural land because of the atmospheric changes. So population and area density of provinces in Pakistan. So this is another important reason that Pakistani government must think about it, that you can see that Balochistan is size-wise is on the top, and it has only 6% population in Pakistan because of the lack of opportunity, you know. So the barren land. And in Punjab, you can see that Punjab, 55%, the population of Pakistan is inhabiting in Punjab. So, and the rest, you can see the Balochistan, 44% area wise, Balochistan is on the top, you know, and it is, there is no proper management on the part of government. And even despite of Gawadar port, they are not doing great job. Even I have few students from uh, at my university, Forman Christian University, and they are from Balochistan, and they were saying, I said, why you are coming to get education in FC college? And they were saying because we are deprived from any, you know, good, excellent universities in Balochistan. And at Gwadar, I was thinking, I talked to them that how far China-Pakistan economic corridor is going on. Are you getting benefit or not? And they were saying, no, it's only a game between, you know, power elites and China. That's it. You know, there is no proper facility for local people. So this is what I'm saying, the bleak picture. And as a human being, we all need a standard lifestyle. And again, this is because of the, I would say, mismanagement that must be seriously needs to be addressed. And again, Pakistan has already 7,000 glaciers. 13% area is covered by glaciers in Pakistan. So the second country across the world that we have natural glaciers. But unfortunately, as you can say, Peltora, Siachen, and Batora, we have three glaciers at Karakoram, and then again Karakoram and Hunsa Valley. So lack of proper dams. Again, you know, we Pakistani government is not investing on, you know, electricity prices. They are not building dams, so they are stuck in their own power struggle. So we can build dams and we can exploit that, you know, glaciers blessing in our plus by water reservoirs. You know, we can then we can generate electricity. But and IMF recently has claimed that Pakistan acute water shortages, Pakistan is on number third country-wise. So it's very, you know, unfortunate that international organizations are doing more research, to be very honest, rather than Pakistanis. So as a researcher, when I have to get data, I go for the IMF, WHA, and other international organizations who are, you know, providing us reports after reports, the researchers particularly. Otherwise, you know, we can't rely on, to be very honest, the data provided by the policymakers of Pakistan. So it's not a very honest kind of data, so that we are facing Pakistani researchers. And again, how we can mitigate it in Pakistan, even in a former Christian university, this year we have 3 international conferences about climate change. So researchers are doing their job, and we are doing campaigns and awareing the students that you must plant tree to mitigate the climate change challenges. And again, Pakistan must work to get funds but to utilize that funds. I mean, getting fund is not only the job done. So how we utilize that fund, it will matter to control or mitigate the climate change challenges. So I'm going to conclude here and rest is on question answer session. So thank you so very much. Appreciate your time.